Oh, welcome to Wales. What can I say? It's cold, it's unbelievably windy, it's pouring down, it's brilliant. Wrexham away to Aberystwyth town, and yeah, dreadful conditions for a football match, but who cares? This is what it's all about. Wrexham, of course, in yellow and green, kicking from right to left, and there's one change to the side that played so well against Cardiff City. Interesting one, Rosie Hughes' first start of the season. She's in ahead of Abby Iddenden. Surprising perhaps to see Abby on the bench, but we've got such good options as immediately we have got a chance for a throw into the box. That's a good touch on as well. Important clearance. Wrexham, of course, equal top with Cardiff, and let's be honest, Cardiff are going to win today. Oh, but a clash brave that from Nat Clark. Tegan Richards, the referee, rightly cries on, just checking she was all right when she banged her head. But it's unbelievably windy. I'm sure you can hear that through the microphones, and it's going to be, I think, difficult to really get the ball down and play, but if you can, that's where the rewards will lie. Aberystwyth inconsistent this season. Watch out up front for their number 23, Caris Bufton, who scored a hat-trick last weekend. They were losing 2-0 at Britain Ferry and came back to win 3-2. Tremendous result for them, ending a run of 3 consecutive defeats, and they're one of a number of teams stacked up behind third place Swansea. As here, Suckley, that's good vision. Now then, straight away, chance for Wrexham to get the ball forwards. Good pass as well. Hughes working it out. Chance perhaps for Barker to have a pop here. Good defending by Libby Isaac. Barker does so well to keep it alive, and Wrexham strike. Rosie Hughes scores 2 minutes into the game, and Barker did so well then. Isaac got a foot in, and she thought it was going out because she knocked it onto Barker for a goal kick, but Barker kept it alive, pulled it back in, and Rosie Hughes, well, like I said, first start of the season, and she scores within the second minute of the game. Brilliant stuff that from, I've not even had a chance to tell you to get onto Ask Wrexham and give me some comments, and already we've taken the lead. And that's perfect for Wrexham, isn't it? As immediate Aberystwyth try to break down the right hand side, but it's overhit, and Hughes can't keep it in.
So in this position, look,
well, what a start, but it was great work initially by Suckley, who switched the ball very intelligently to the left hand side. Snape's pass was a good one to feed it forwards, and then Barker. Brilliant from Barker. So here Wrexham again now. Strength from Barker, and she wins it back superbly. Ref as well, he was right there. Could see it was a good tackle. Persistent work by Evans, wins it back. And now Wrexham have to be careful. That's good. Bartle. Ball drops kindly in the end for Scourfield, one of the better midfielders in this division. But what a start for Wrexham. The Wrexham Ultras already in fantastic voice. Josie Smith continuing at right back. She plays everywhere, doesn't she? And Wrexham looking to move the ball around. It's a 3G pitch, so the pitch itself should be true, although let's not forget that last season that car park by where Wrexham were trying to work their way out of trouble flooded, and there was a real danger to the game getting called off despite it being an artificial pitch, because there was standing water in the corner of the pitch. They had to stop the game for a guy to come on with a broom and push it off, and yeah, we managed to get away with it. Throw into Wrexham. Aber felt that Snape had taken it off the pitch, but linesman said not. Here's Lily Jones now, and that's a good idea. Wynn just catches it a bit, but that also led to a misheader. Jones unlucky. Ball ricocheting out into midfield, and Scourfield. That's a clever pass. Now then, it's Hughes. She's only got one player in the middle, has a go instead. Not a bad effort, but Craven was never concerned by it. Able to let it go across for the goal kick. If it is a goal kick, they'll go for the throw, in fact. And Aberystwyth have got a problem here at the back. It's Evans who's gone down, yeah. Or Egan, is it? Quite sure what happened there. There was an awkward header on the far side for Matthias. but it's not her who's hurt. So it is a throw. And how about that for a world-class piece of yard stealing? That throw-in should be by the corner flag. Yeah, the ref spotted it now. Brilliant work by Josie Smith trying to steal 20 yards on the throw-in. I think she was a bit too greedy there. If she'd nicked 10, she might have got away with it. So here she goes. Second hole. Again, the wind catches hold of that. Smith having to fight to bring it clear. Does brilliantly. Now, what options does she have? That's a nice. Suckley has got Hughes going over the top. I think she may have just looked up at where Hughes was to measure the pass and took her eye off it slightly. But here's Lily Jones battling hard. Free kick given in her favour as Egan came in with a challenge. What a start for Wrexham. Perfect start. Like I said, Cardiff are going to win today. They are away to Pontypridd, who let in 10 goals last weekend. Poor Pontypridd. So we need to make sure. That's good from Snape. Foul given as Hughes steps in. But yeah, Cardiff will win. There's no point in speculating. God, the wind is moving that ball around for Snape. Moving ball when she took it, but couldn't help it. Referees ignored it, I think quite rightly. And now Wrexham, look at the wind getting up even more than it was before. It's a real howling gale here. Smith. So difficult to play in these conditions. Wrexham are starting so well. Bartle, that's nice. Barker, brilliant vision now. Can Snape keep that in? No, she can't. But yeah, in these conditions, I mean, it's got to be remembered, it's hard to play. Not just, you know, people think about how the ball might be held up in the wind, and certainly when the ball's in the air, it's going to be affected. But also just keeping your balance, it can be difficult. You know, to stand up and play the ball, and the wind moves you around. Wrexham have started sharply. If you can get the ball down, you'll be rewarded for it. Avoid putting it in the air. Snape down the line. Hughes trying to get there, throw in. Oh, ref gives a foul against Hughes. But it made contact. Not sure if there was a heck of a lot of contact on Evans, but free kick given. Hughes didn't complain too much, to be fair. What a start for Wrexham, getting that early goal. Perfect. So it's Libby Isaac, the free kick. And again, they look to go down a flank, but with the wind like this, you're playing against the percentages, and again the wind just takes it out of play. You've got to dig deep in these conditions, haven't you? You know, much as I love the beautiful game, this is the sort of day where having a good scrap will help you. Throw goes against Wrexham. This Wrexham team we've already seen is certainly not lacking when it comes to heart. I don't want to come across as some sort of clairvoyant genius, but guess who else has scored? Cardiff were winning 1-0 at Pontypridd. Kernock scored. Took them 6 minutes, so now then, Mahmood has open space here for Suckley. Snape and Hughes marked by one at the far post. Suckley. 3 Wrexham players arriving behind them. It's a good pullback. Mahmood. Clark wants it. Gets it. Good pressure from her. Good strike though by Clark, and comfortable enough for Steele to get behind. But that's the other thing. Horrible day for goalkeepers. And long range shots could cause problems. Good breakaway that though. Maybe the pass just forced Suckley wide. So Wrexham, like I said, a goal to the good and looking to push on. Snape did well. Gets the throw off Evans. Hughes wants it early. She was outnumbered down that flank though. Decides against it. Snape. Barker. Good touch. Good turn. That's nice. Clever idea as well. And Mahmood just nicely. That's good. Pass slightly behind Suckley, but it's snappy passing from Wrexham. We're getting on top here. Mahmood, the pass asking a lot, but inviting the foot in. And Wrexham get the corner. And again, the Wrexham Ultras who are behind the opposite goal from a distance are really enjoying this. Snape will take it. Oh, the weather is going to make defending these corners even more difficult. Steele has done well over the last 6 months or so for Aberystwyth, but she's not the tallest keeper. Snape now is going to drop this in under the bar if she can. She signals. Suckley's getting blocked off quite aggressively. Ooh, nearly dropped kindly there. And a foul in the end is given against Wrexham. It looked more like a collision, although I think Bartle is concerned that the player she hit is hurt. It's Egan. Because she immediately went to see if she was okay. Now you might be wondering why Aberystwyth aren't wearing their green and white kit, the usual kit. The one which on Ask Wrexham was often led to quite a lot of speculation. They've had some fun iterations of that kit. Last year it looked like a sort of German lederhosen outfit, didn't it? And they've also had kits with the skyline of Aberystwyth on it. Well, they're playing in pink because, oh, hang on a sec, that's a nice idea now then. Hughes has got 2 players in the middle. Lovett holds her up, but it's a great chance. Great save by Craven. Well, Lovett at least managed to hold her up and make it more difficult for her. And then what a save by Craven. But again, just a early ball over the top, and that wind making it hang on the air caused us issues. Tremendous save. Craven so sharp, high to her left. It was flying in the top corner. Palm behind now then the corner. Isaac gets a touch. Hart clears. Ken Wrexham gets that first? No, and it was worth having a pop perhaps, but very poor contact that, wasn't it? And as a consequence, the shot dribbles wide. Just trying to see if there's been a late change at the Aberystwyth team. I'll double check that, because there was no number 18 on the Cymru Football app. That's a lovely pass by Lovett, really snappy, and Wrexham getting the ball forwards well. Important interception by Isaac, as Barker would have been clear otherwise. Not the best clearance by Rebecca Matthias. Ball driven forwards, and Jenkins round the corner. That's a good ball. Hughes offside this time. Hughes is the player who's causing all the threat at the moment down the right. The hat-trick scorer from last weekend, Buffton, on the left, hasn't really got involved yet. But the highly experienced Jenkins, who, and here's something that might sound familiar for those of you who saw the Barry Town games earlier this season, is an outfield player who has played in goal against us here at Park Avenue. Is an experienced player and was unlucky, and indeed so was Lily Jones there, who nearly sent Snape clear. This near side, Wrexham's left, really is an area of movement, isn't it? Because Hughes is getting forwards really well, but on the other side, Snape is running into the space she's leaving. The two of them are both sort of, well, in football parlance, cheating, staying up the pitch a little bit, not doing the covering back and getting up there to cover. That's a break. If I have to say that, I'll re-switch to a 3, as that's good work by Snape. Garker now wants to get in the right foot, and she does, and she hits it. Good save by Steele. Suckley now. Hughes lurks at the far post. That's into the right area. Hughes! Oh, unlucky. Snape now. Needs support. No, she doesn't. Great turn. Nasty cross too. Matthias partly clear. Suckley wanted to hit that, didn't she? And it was tenacious play by Buffton. Another corner. Great save that by Steele though, wasn't it? Barker nailed it. Wrexham are really knocking on the door. And then when the cross came back in, Hughes just couldn't quite make the right contacts. But wow, what a fast start by Wrexham. Eventually I'll explain why Aberystwyth have got pink shirts, but let's see what happens here first, shall we? Snape with the in-swinger. Hughes again is on Steele. There's a short option Lily Jones offers, and she draws Buffton out of the box. It's a flat one. And Bartle again is a target, not able to get there. Now then, that's good pace up front by Evans. He's got a chance to switch. Has to slow it down in the end, but it's a nice ball to Scourfield. Lovett gets a foot in. Barker, great work. Mahmood now, good feet, footwork. Such a deft touch in the end. She runs out of pitch. The wind is blowing us around up here. Although the person I feel most sorry for. So there's three of us up here. But poor Ryan, the pitch side cameraman, he's taking the real brunt of it all. Poor fella down the sides of the pitch. He's taking a bullet for the rest of us. Okay, so Aberystwyth are wearing pink because this is Pink Day. It's a charity day in support of cancer research and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and also Sue Ryder. And so they're playing in a special pink kit. It wasn't a bad idea by Jenkins. Scarfield didn't read it. You'll be able to see to the left of the goal Wrexham are defending. There are some gazebos, and they're selling stuff like cupcakes with the Aberystwyth crest in icing on the top, and golden goal tickets. Hey, I bought a golden goal ticket. Pretty sure it wasn't almost straight from the kickoff though. And they're selling some Aberystwyth merchandise, and for the first time since 2009 they've printed the programme for an Aberystwyth women's home game, which is really good. A nice pink colour cover. 15th minute I had, darn it. Now then, that's a nice idea, great work to cover by Snape. It is a free at the back from Wrexham, isn't it? Snape's a wing back. Lovett's a left-sided centre-back. Here's Barker, nice touch by Lily Jones, and oh, Barker again, looks so good here, doesn't she? Looking for Suckley, and Barker was taken out late, the referee saw that, good reffing that. Waits to see if Suckley's getting to the pass. A lot of passes are just rolling too far, aren't they? The wind's taking it even though it's on the floor. So, free kick in the centre circle. Lily Jones to take. A good area. Isaac judges it well. I thought it might float over her to Hughes at one point. And then sloppy, and Suckley does ever so well. Can she keep that in? Look at the ball spinning away. She's unlucky. It's a lovely touch. If the weather was better, I think she'd get there. Cardiff have got a second now at Pontypridd. Eve Jenkins scoring. That's the only other game with goals in it in the Adran Premier. Now, that's a good pass. Barker's got space outside it. Snape, early ball in's a good idea. Well defended that by Matthias, who's such an experienced centre-back. Suckley again, stretching the play. Again, Snape's in acres of space. Us switching back to the three at the back has maybe caught Aberystwyth a little bit. Certainly Snape's getting in some wonderful positions and they're not getting bodies around to track her. That's going to bounce all the way through. Now then, Mahmood. Good work. Oh! Hughes was unmarked and she stands there for a moment, stunned. She just couldn't quite reach that one. But once again, Wrexham threatening. Mahmood with a vicious ball across the face. Wrexham, who have a 100% record here at Park Avenue in the league, just need to keep capitalising on this pressure. And of course, you always want to make hay. I was going to say while the sun's shining, but that's not really appropriate today, is it? Because in these conditions, you never know when it could turn and favour the opposition. So if Wrexham well on top here, they need to really make sure they take advantage of it while these are still the prevailing conditions. It really wasn't too bad driving over. I didn't feel any wind at all driving across. There wasn't that much rain, but the mums are out in Aberystwyth, saw the flags at the back of the stand that Lizzie Craven is defending, whipping away. I thought, gosh, as Hughes, that's asking a lot of her. Ruby Slippers on Ask Wrexham says, oh no, Isaac. I remember that name being troublesome in past matches. It's not often opposition players stand out of my memory yet. She's tremendous centre back at number 7 for Aberystwyth. And she and Rosie Hughes have had so many terrific battles over the years. They're both quick. I am wondering, with the wind like it is though, if you get Barker into higher position, that's a great tackle by Clark, and get her running a sprint between Isaac and Hughes would be brilliant. As Lily Jones is trying to play that sort of pass, it's unlucky. What a lovely little back heel as well by Snape to pick Jones out. Wrexham playing some really good stuff in the grimmest of conditions, but you know, like I said in the intro, welcome to Wales. Barker again now, running at Isaac, that battle, unlucky. Just stretched a tiny bit and she played that pass and it lacked as a result the weight. Snape is looking so good on the ball here. Bartle. Smith over the top, that's a great idea. Rosie Hughes now, flag stays down, 2 in support. Hughes, Barker, oh, crucial defence, brilliant challenge. I think it might have been Isaac, was it, coming across and saving a certain goal. Brilliant ball to pick out Hughes. And a wonderful tackle when she pulled it back as Barker looks certain to score. Oh, my word. What a start by Wrexham. And once again, why haven't we scored more than this? That's our usual situation. In-swinger again for Snape. First two have gone a bit flat and she's trying to take a little bit off them, isn't she, because of the wind. That's into a horrible area. Crucial touch by Isaac. And like I said, the wind affects the ball even at ground level. It's so strong. See how the ball's whizzing across this wet surface. My oh my. Pate is suffering trying to watch Arsenal at the same time as Wrexham. 2 games of red against yellow, but those colours kicking in opposite directions. Now then, there's Barker. Oh, lovely skill. She's offside. She's offside. She wanted the penalty, but the flag's up quickly. Now, Lee Trundle, 2003 at Bristol Rovers. That was reminiscent of that amazing goal he scored. Proper street magic sleight of hand goal, very similar to what Barker just did there, just taking the ball and flicking it cutely around her. In fact, as Chip has just mentioned, Arsenal, that crazy Bergkamp goal against Newcastle, again the ball's blowing all over the place there. And really the rest should let Aberystwyth have another go at it. But Lily Jones, that's nice. Now then, back moves. She goes the wrong way, but that's a poor clearance. Barker had been in space on who's left. Snape drills it across the face again. Goodness me, we are getting into such dangerous positions. I mean, the wind is behind us, but I think it's more the quality we've got that's really causing the problems. Although, like I said, you got to fill your boots when, if wind is giving us an advantage, you got to take advantage of it, haven't you? Suckley does well. Here come Wrexham again. It's constant. There's Suckley. Lovely ball. Oh, well taken, Steele. Again, Barker had managed to find space. Steele did well to read that and step up. Terrible conditions for goalkeepers, like I said, and both keepers have done really well so far. Now then, Here's Hughes breaking down the right. The ball just sticking under her feet, but she's kept going. Nasty cross. Nice idea. Scourfield couldn't get the proper contact. Smith trying to bring it clear. Buffton does well. Referee does well to see that it's not a foul though, and Mahmood helps out. Aberystwyth was asking for a free kick, but again, I think the ref's quite right. And here now is Barker, just where she wants to be. Hughes running ahead of her. Hughes now. Isaac against her. That old rivalry. Barker and Marks in the middle. Hughes couldn't get onto a right foot in time. Takes on Isaac. Great defending. Great defending. Isaac realised there was a problem with Barker and took it right off the ball to turn back inside and point out to the other defenders that Barker was going to be running on Marks in the middle. And I wondered for a moment whether Hughes might be able to play the ball or do something early while she was doing that. But Isaac recovered well. Now then, Snape, they haven't picked her up again. That's into a great area. Suckley's unlucky. Very difficult angle. Goodness me, we are racking up the chances here. Sherry, the Wrexham fan, has joined us 10 minutes late and says, let's go. Well, I tell you what, Sherry, it's one-way traffic, although Lizzie Graven has made one wonderful save. But apart from that, Wrexham in a howling gale, which if anything is probably helping us, are really dominating and need to be scoring, taking advantage of these chances. Big stretch by Isaac again. Hughes, good strength, holding off Snape, and the ref this time does see the foul. Tegan Richards, the referee, has done very well as well. It can be difficult for referees adjudicating in these conditions, and thus far he's made some smart calls. But I would say that because he's about 20 foot tall and built like that. Love it, good header. Wrexham throw. So, Snape in the first hole. Lovett wins a throw higher up the pitch. Good aggressive piece of defending to attack the ball there from Chambers. Lovett across to Bartle. Bartle once more. The wind is all over the place here now, and really you can see a couple of players from either side misjudging it. Wow, yeah, it does seem to be blowing in the other direction for the moment as Barker is battling with Hughes. She wants to throw, and the ref is right to give it Aberystwyth's way. Worth a try. So it's Egan. Snape again is there. Hughes can't quite reach it. Now then, Barker, love it. Beautiful play. Running at Hughes, nicely done. Can't quite pick out a teammate. Egan gets rid of it quickly. Love it, that's a great ball. Now then, Hughes at the far post. Barker looks for her. Oh, see the ball hold up in the wind then. That cross looks perfect as it was coming into the box, and it just stopped in the air. I think you can tell by the tone of my voice, I love freak football. And this is freak football par excellence. The weather is really messing around with this, and thrilled to see the quality Wrexham are coming up with considering that. Looked like a foul, Mahmood, not given. As well, if there's anything you want to chat about at half time, send in it through Ask Wrexham on Twitter or Blue Sky. Referee gives the free kick. Maybe you could have played advantage there as Lee Jones had got away despite being fouled. Radio Carla says, so it's possible to have a good referee. Is this one available for Friday's men's game? The last couple of men's games, the rest have been shocking, haven't they? And they started the season so well. Here is Snape. Only half clears. Good touch by Egan though. Jenkins steps off, and as a result there aren't many options. It's a good idea that, but massively overhit. Looking for Hughes. Scarfield launches it. Love it, standing it up. Good header away. Love it. Can't quite find Lily Jones, who makes life tough for Bufton. Difficult bounce for Scarfield. Good foot in. Josie Smith stepping up. I just remembered I've got a hat in my pocket. That's handy. Ball's worked down the left-hand side. Bufton with the early cross. It's a good one, but it was a difficult one to strike towards goal. Yeah, Sherry says it's so windy I can hardly hear the Wrexham Ultras. I know they are making really good noise. They're in the stand behind Lizzie Craven's goal. So depending on which way the rain goes or the wind goes, either they're really nicely cosy in there, or the rain's going to blow horizontally into their faces as Scarfield overheads that. Now this is a sort of passage of play where you've got to be a little careful. We've dominated, we've made so many chances and so many great positions, but there's going to be spells like this where the game gets scrappy because both sides are fighting against the conditions, and you've just got to make sure that you don't let your opposition back in, haven't you, in these situations, because that sort of ball can cause a real problem. It's hooked clear, Chambers hooking it in, you know. It's not a good pass in the traditional sense, but it's a tricky one for Smith, and if the ball was carrying normally, Craven might have done something with it. Mahmood took a risk there and did brilliantly, and as a result gets smashed into. That was like those old, you know, the old Wild West trains with the cattle thing catcher on the front. She just ploughed into it in Scoutfield then, didn't she? Straight line, bang. Poor Mahmood is thrown up in the air. Bufton went down, but is okay to continue. Craven there with a kick. Let's see if the ball will stay still for it. Love it. Yeah, we've got to be careful working our way out from the back. Good ball. Nice touch by Suckley as well. A good challenge. Wrexham win the throw. Wrexham Wookie says, wait for the wind to score for us off a goal kick. Right, two thoughts. One, unfortunately, if a goal kick went straight in, it would be disallowed, because we were talking, weren't we, about that back pass on Wednesday and indirect free kicks. Well, a goal kick is indirect, so I'm afraid sadly it wouldn't count unless it just brushed the keeper's finger on the way in. Again, just Bartle has to be careful. Craven, that's good. And Snape again is always in space. Barker wants room down the line. Snape carries it nicely, and now Hughes can look for Barker, and she took a bit of speed off that, and it still spins away. You saw how she took a bit off it, and she just dug her foot under the ball to make it backspin to help Barker, and the wind still took it off the pitch, even with Barker's pace. Yeah, the other thing with the wind, thank you for reminding me, I'll go through my Rolodex of Wrexham wind memories. Let's see if Aberystwyth can just get away with this. Yeah, Steele does that well. And it's a good challenge by Barker. I don't think that went out. Oof. And poor Ryan gets hit. The camera took it full on then. Lily Jones, that's nice. Oh, Mahmood, lovely turn. Good strike, unlucky. She's got such a good touch, hasn't she, Mahmood? But yeah, we've had a full-on face of the lens contact from the ball there. And the camera didn't even flinch. I tell you what, we bring you the proper tough hardware. Literally hardware. Man. Scarfield, oh, Hughes, brilliant work by Hughes. Mahmood, clever touch, Barker now. Lily Jones has gone ahead. Lily Jones, can she finish? Yes, she can! Lily Jones, 2-0 to Wrexham. It was coming. And the Ultras, can Sherry hear them now? Oh my words, that was lovely build-up play, and Lily Jones through the middle. Wrexham, with 10 minutes and a half left, have taken a 2-goal lead, a bit more control over the game now, reflecting how the game has gone, and the Wrexham fans are making excellent noise. But Lily Jones there, what a cool finish, just set herself, drilled it, perfect. And Wrexham, having gone close with Mahmood moments earlier, 2 goals are the good. Fantastic stuff from Wrexham, really making light of the crazy conditions here. So, wind memories. You said about goal kick scoring. Well, I'll offer something the opposite. I've said this, I think, before in high wind. So I go off and make a cup of tea, or even just watch the game and they zone me out, which I'd always advise. I remember Wrexham playing Bridgend, the men's team. Oh, that's a good ball now. Hughes has done well. Oh, she's unlucky. She's just offside. Because that was a nice touch as it came awkwardly behind her. So, yeah, Wrexham men's team in the 80s played Bridgend in the men's Welsh Cup. And the game had to be put back 24 hours because part of the roof of the Kop blew off in extreme wind. So it was put back 24 hours. That's a difficult ball to take for Hughes. Snape, though, was touched. Was she fouled? Yes. And so because of that, they put it back 24 hours. We had to play with this big gap in the roof. And the wind was unbelievable, blowing straight down the pitch from the Kop end. First half, it was only 1-0 because Wrexham were playing against the wind. Di Davis, the legendary Wrexham and Wales goalkeeper, was playing. He actually retired, but he had to come out of retirement as a favour to the manager, Dixon McNeil, because all our goalkeepers were injured. And so he was playing, and in the first half, Hughes unlucky there, he tries to throw the ball out and the wind catches it and it comes flying back, and he has to dive to his left and catch the ball to save it, or he'd have thrown it forwards and it would end up in his own net. It was remarkable. First half it was only 1-0 with us playing against the wind. Second half we scored 7, won 8-0. Wrexham are looking impressive. The Wrexham Ultras singing "That's the way I like it." The Town away I like it, beg your pardon. Aberystwyth taking the throw. Jenkins outnumbered. Now here's Barker again. My word, he's lighting this game up. Isaac is quick enough to get there ahead of Hughes. Mahmood will pressure Steele, and Steele gets decent contact on that. I honestly put it off the pitch, but Mahmood was blocking her path and knocking it long, made that sort of clearance into the wind extremely dangerous, and I think that's the best you can do really in the circumstances. This is an artificial pitch, and there's to the left of us just a big maze of portable goals, because obviously they must have lots of small-sided kids games on here at the same time. It's taken quite a while for one of the people in the crowd to pick his way through them and find the ball, because he got stuck behind all of them. Good tackle on Snape, Wrexham throw. Throwing back to Lovett on the halfway line. Gets it onto her right foot, and Wrexham will switch across the pitch. Aberystwyth, nobody's stepping up to put pressure on the ball here. Clark is offering. Smith. Here is Clark. ball so well, doesn't she? Love it now. Barker's dropped off into a nice position, but of course Snape is always on, and that's the problem with the weather, isn't it? Again, the ball just flies. So yeah, anything you want to throw in on Ask Wrexham on Blue Sky or Twitter, please do so. If only, tell me stuff that'll make me think of warm things. Ask me that so that I can warm myself up. I've left my gloves in the car like an idiot. Aim for Egan, doesn't get there. Snape pucks it clear. Wrexham just keep Aberystwyth stuck in that corner, then there's more chance they'll lose it in these conditions and we can put them under pressure again. Tricky one for Barker. She's managed to realise where it's gone off her back heel. Egan snapping away as her fouls her in the end. That's done well. Barker with her amazing balance manages to turn. She complains that I should have played an advantage. To be fair to the ref, don't think anybody anticipated she'd spin like that, come back up with the ball at her feet and find herself in space. So Lily Jones is on it. Hughes wants it in long. Bartle's attacking the box. Played in towards Bartle. Isaac clear. Jenkins can't bring it down. Here's Hughes. That's a good ball. Barker unlucky. Good first time effort. Now Hughes feels she was fouled in the box as she released the ball there. Scourfield with a robust tackle. Ref doesn't agree. He was again very close in. Hughes did well to lay it off the long range shot, and it was a good idea to take it first time. Smith, good ball again. Mahmood, that's nice. Suckley's done well to take over. Hughes now. Nice idea, unlucky. Snape was arriving, and Snape's always arriving, if not unmarked, and at least ahead of the player who's marking her, because like I said, there's so much space out wide for her on the left. Just wonder whether Aberystwyth might change their setup. It's an interesting setup from Wrexham as well. Suckley is nominally the right-sided wing-back. She's not had to cover back too much because Smith sort of has the right-sided centre-back covering quite a bit as Hughes clears. Blocks the clearance and it's just launched away. We're continuing to keep Aberystwyth penned in, aren't we? We do need to be aware of whether the conditions are playing enough of a role to help them in the second half. As Hughes, great scrapping, takes it from Chambers, good play. Barker, great turn, great balance. Can she deliver? Really persistent defending, and that defending is rewarded. It's a goal kick. Barker though, wow, so quick, and to be fair, she could have gone down and asked for the penalty a couple of times in that. Matthias did well to get the foot in. Steele. Jenkins having to drop off to win the ball, and again just can't keep it in play. Yeah, we've got to be aware of that danger, haven't we? Second half, Aberystwyth might find it with the winds at their backs more often than not. Like I say, it's erratic, but generally it's been blowing in Wrexham's favour. They might find it helps them too. It's a good ball to Hughes. Oh, I love the idea, trying to flick it for Mahmood. Here is Mahmood again. Oh, good turn. Can't find Hughes in the end. Bartle underhit that, looking for Smith. And the conditions make it difficult to judge sometimes to wait on your pass. That's a good ball around the back of Wrexham's defence, mind. And it's a good ball in as well, but just sped across the face of goal too quickly. Bit of a let-off for Wrexham. Vicious ball across the face by Buffton. A slightly unforeseen and, let's be honest, trivial effect of the weather is that the notes I'm taking have basically fallen to shreds. They've turned into papier-mâché at the course of the first half. Throw-in taken. Lily Jones battling with Scourfield is caught. Fourth official's about to show how much time is added on. or has just done it. I'm not sure. He was pressing the buttons. He's put it down again now, so he may have just been putting it down there. And yeah, I think he just missed that. Ball lifted over the top. But Wrexham, so 1 added minute. And Wrexham have been dominant, and again, maybe we'll just be feeling a little frustrated that it's only 2 goals. Craven, good ball again. She looks so confident on the ball in these conditions. Snape has had a great half, hasn't she? And that's nearly put Barker in behind. But the 1 added minute has been announced in the stadium as it comes to an end. One last chance for Wrexham to get the ball forwards with this howling gale behind us. Lily Jones, that's a nice idea. Chambers intercepts. Jones, that's a good ball. Now then, Barker, great feet. Jones will hit this. Doesn't quite get hold of it, but Steele had to get down. It might have just been going wide, but nonetheless, Steele couldn't take that chance. So, if the ref allows us time to take the corner, we'll get one last opportunity here. First corner we had on the left, Lily Jones will take it. An in-swinger, players arriving in the 6-yard box. It's into a nice area, and the referee blows for half-time. The wind blows, the ref blows, and Wrexham have landed a couple of blows. I'm so sorry I just said that. That was pathetic, wasn't it? I was auditioning for Sky. Oh, hey, apparently I was on Paramount Plus for half of the game yesterday. Maybe I'm auditioning for them. Anyway, half-time, Wrexham 2 goals to the good. Should have been more. Wrexham dealing really well with the horrible conditions, and now the next big question we need to have answered is, are the conditions so one-sided that we're going to have to dig in the second half to defend that 2-0 lead, or was it the combination of the wind and our quality that allowed us to be so utterly dominant? So, great stuff. This has been a real battle, and Wrexham have shown those battling qualities. You need a range of qualities, of course, to win the league. Last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, I should say, we had the opposite. We had a really high quality match against the champions Cardiff. That one was intense and full of class, and so let's relive that and have a look at the highlights from a really good top of the table match. For the match as well, and they again TNS did there and left, and we stayed that central area. Like we said in pre-match, she will hit shots from distance. That's dangerous. So cute. That's by God. Accelerating like that is wonderful. That's a lovely idea by Mahmood. Barker is there.
Yeah. Go.
And it's in. What a fabulous finish that was. The pass by Mahmood.
That as well.
Yeah, this is where they can get an overload, isn't it? Whereas, short corner. Decent strike. And that was good work by Craven. He's drills it. Unlucky. I must admit, I thought she may have gone a bit early, but maybe the right side of the defence played her on.
Tough game, but we beat them.
Billingham's done ever so well. Can she strike? Yes, but Craven again.
Yeah.
Idden. That's a decent effort as well. Angle always favouring teammates. Billingham. That's a brilliant save. Brilliant work by Billingham. Absolutely outstanding. To the danger area. Barry, who delivers a good ball in. Ooh. Evans close to getting contact on that then, but
that was.
Oh, it's a good penalty. Creighton goes the right way, can't quite reach it, and well, that's a blow for Wrexham.
Yeah.
Just got to fight back now.
But if that's all that.
She looks for the killer ball for Barker. It's a great ball. Barker, can't quite get enough on it. Chamberlain, well, she nearly did the same thing to her again. So alert. Decent idea. Looking for Evans. She's got their first hell of a save. But Barry. Brilliant from Craven. That's outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Heavy touch and again,
Another
Craven
save.
got touch on that, I think, didn't she? So there you have it, Wrexham drawing 1-1 against Cardiff. I'm getting blown around the gantry up here now. I wouldn't have it any other way. I've got to say, I love this. It's such an honour to be doing these games, and it's not just the games on Sunday that I love so much. It's the conditions as well. It's always horrific on a Sunday. I don't know why. There's some sort of weird deal between the Welsh FA and God, but regardless, it's just great fun. And we've drawn NFA in the Welsh Cup, the Bute Energy Cup. Now that's up in Rill, and it is a field. It is, as I understand it. I've never been there, but I think it is just some playing fields. So that's going to be nicely exposed. The thing with Aberystwyth is that, like a lot of Welsh League teams, they've had money spent on their infrastructure by the Welsh FA, and they've got these nice big gantries, and they are great, and they're tall. But boy, oh boy, do they catch the wind. Man, often at Aberystwyth, I'm on the floor below this because it's a 2-storey gantry, and the floor below is very cosy with a glass window. In fact, those of you who were listening last season, the season before, will remember there was a weird alarm that kept going off, beeping all the time when we were here. But I did say to the guys that I wanted to be up here. It's much more fun being in the elements with the camera guys. And actually being able to hear the crowds as well. It's much better than being down there in the warm and the dry. I'm not being sarcastic, seriously. This is what footy's all about, getting buffeted around. Man. I wonder if they're selling ball for a laugh at the game. Right, so Wrexham Wookie is saying that he's feeling for Ryan, the cameraman. I'm trying to see if you can hear me. Wrexham Wookie is feeling for Ryan, the cameraman. Not only the wind and rain, but taking kicks to the head. Thanks for getting the footage for us. Beautiful work. Yeah, he's up here now. He's safe and sound. Apparently, and I'm heartbroken to tell you this, the ball hit the barrier in front of him and not him or the camera. And I'm gutted. So, Tom Streeter, I'm so sorry, Tom. Now, I think you asked this a couple of weeks ago, and I saw it and thought I got a response, and I didn't, so I will now, Tom. He says, there was a clip of me with a toaster on my head. I still never quite got the story on what that was all about. It wasn't the sort of match that lent itself to telling stories. You're not wrong there. Cardiff was very intense. Well, it's half-time. Windy West Wales. Let's talk about it. I'll go from the beginning as well. I think this is worth it. So there's a band of fans I often reference, the Wrexham Ultras, and they are wonderful. They're essentially a group of families, and they just come together to the games, and they're brilliant. And at the end of last season, I noticed that they were making noise. Now, Adrian Premier games don't tend to have atmosphere. A good chunk of the crowd's probably family, and it certainly doesn't tend to be singing. But they were starting to sing at a game at TNS, and I thought, that's interesting. And I met them at games. It's a genuine pleasure coming to the women's games. You get to know the fans quite well, And I was chatting to them at a pre-season game. They go to all the men's and the women's games, and they were saying how they really want to get a bit of atmosphere going, which for me is wonderful in so many ways. I mean, firstly, great for the team to feel that there's fans who are getting right behind them, just like with the men's team. Also good for the Adrian Premier, because a league with atmosphere is just a more attractive product, quite frankly. And we were chatting away and making up silly songs, and I thought, we need to have a good talk about this and have a think about this and do it. So I started pushing the idea of the Wrexham Ultras in reference to them. They're at every away game. They're brilliant. I wanted to give them a little bit of a hand, so I made a couple of flags. I bought them, designed them and bought them. So they have 2 flags which are up behind them today and in every game. They've got one which has a picture of Wrexham team, Wrexham women's team, and Wrexham Ultras written across it. And then there's another one which has written across it. And those of you who are into your 1970s New York graffiti, or indeed Andre the Giant, will appreciate this, I hope. It just says Lily Jones has a posse. And they take those to the games. They make crazy noise. They are wonderful. Now then, one of the youngest Wrexham Ultra is Maddie. And she, I think it was the first game at Buckley, turned up. Oh, by the way, in case you can hear it, it's much more windy now. You'll be delighted to hear. The Ultras are saying, Marky, give us a wave. They're pleased that I have. I could barely hear them with the wind, I tell you. So anyway, Maddie turns up with, I can see it on her now, this amazing hat. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen, and I just want to tell you, I've seen the Great Pyramids, I've been inside the Great Pyramids, but her hat's better. It's a rabbit hat with long dangly ears that hang down over her shoulders, and not ears, the paws hang down, and she can press the paws independently and make the ears move independently, and it was the best thing I'd ever seen in my life. So I was talking to them about that, and I said, I'll try and make a hat. And I showed them a picture of my inspiration, which was a guy, he's just called John the Toaster, I think. He's a Blythe Spartans fan. So Blythe Spartans are a small non-league team up in the northeast who are famous for a cup run they had in 1978 when they caused all sorts of mayhem, pulled off all sorts of upsets, and ended up playing Wrexham in the 5th round for a place in the quarterfinals. And we only just beat them. That's a long story as well. That's worth telling. Anyway, so they've got a fan. I mean, Wrexham drew Blythe Spartans again in the National League promotion season in the FA Cup, and again we were lucky to get past them after a replay like the first time we met them. Their celebrity sort of fan comes along, John the Toaster, who basically all it is, he's a Blythe Spartans fan. He goes to all the games home and away, and he has a toaster which he gaffer tapes to the top of his head. Please Google him and have a look. It's amazing. So it's just that. It's just a middle-aged bloke with a toaster strapped to his head, and he just goes to the games like that. And I explained this to the Ultras, and I told Maddie that I'd compete with their hat by coming with a toaster. So I made a toaster out of a cardboard box. My plan, but I've not quite got this to fruition yet, it's got 2 independent pieces of cardboard toast coming out through the slots, and the idea is I'm going to get a wire coat hanger and try and connect it so I can move the toast independently like her ears. I've not done that yet, but that was why I had a toaster on my head, and it's up here with me now. In fact, it just nearly blew over the edge of the gantry, and Kieran, our other cameraman, heroically rescued it. But yes, it's up here because it was in the boot of my car, and when I walked across the stand where the Ultras are, Maddie said, "Where's your toaster?" And I said, "Oh, sorry," so I had to run back across and get the toaster from the car. But yeah, that's why I was wearing a toaster on my head, and darn it, as far as I'm concerned, I will continue to do so, Tom Streeter, and there ain't nothing you can do to stop me. Yarb it's the same thing. The highlights at the picture of me with a toaster hat. Excellent. Oh, no, yeah, proper highlights package that, isn't it? Absolutely. Wrexham all the way. I'm gonna disagree with you now. Naughty. Wrexham all the way said, "Can Lizzie Craven please give Arthur Okonkwo some lessons in distribution?" Not kidding. Every time Craven kicks out, she's finding Snape perfectly, and what a save she made as well. Well, I get you. I'm going to defend Arthur. I don't deny that there have been points where maybe his decision making on distribution could have been better. I think sometimes I'm on his side insofar as I know the crowd get on his back if he doesn't release early. Crowds tend to always want goalkeepers to release the ball early, even when there's no one at the pitch. So sometimes you just got to ignore that. Also, if you're going to actually surrender possession or play a long ball that is a low percentage chance of success, I'd argue don't do it. And sometimes he errs on the side of caution, and I respect that. Craven, though, is, I would argue, exceptional with the ball to her feet. But if you remember the start of the season, there were a couple of mistakes. One, most notably against Barry, where she made a mistake, was tackled, and Barry got the easiest of goals. So, you know, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Goalkeepers who are good at the ball, their feet. It is a dangerous game. It is an area of the pitch where if you get it wrong, you are going to suffer major consequences. The thing I really admire about Craven is that having had that happen, she has kept doing it, because she understands that she's being asked to play out from the back. That's part of the team's philosophy. We need to get the ball down and passing out from the back rather than knock hopeful long balls forwards. And she knows that, okay, there's always some risk, there can always be a problem, but the percentage just says that although that will happen occasionally, over the course of the season we will score more goals from playing that style of football, which she facilitates, than we will concede goals from a mistake. And I'm so pleased to see that she's kept her confidence and kept doing what she does well. And I think that's a key element for a goalkeeper, something which when I was a goalkeeper, I gotta say, I didn't have. The sort of mental fortitude to have a nightmare moment happen and just think, okay, but I made a mistake, but I did it for the right reasons, and I'll keep making the same decision because it's the right thing to do. Just got to execute it right next time. But yeah, last two games and this one, I thought her distribution's been superb. And you know, when we talk about bravery, there's more types of bravery than just getting kicked in the head and carried on. There's the bravery of continuing to take those risks, because it's brilliant that she does so. So we've got Jenkins, our Aberystwyth players, come out, but nobody else has. And would you want to come out early in this weather? It's got worse over half time. The rain is really getting right underneath us now. It's sort of going a bit diagonally across from the gantry where you'll have been able to see that big bridge as Wrexham come out, and you hear the noise, I hope, from the ultras. But it's going to be fascinating to see this second half now, isn't it? Are we going to continue to dominate? Did the wind help us so much that we're now going to have to fight for the win? Also, and here's a thought, Aiden's on the bench, and if the wind's against us, she could be very handy in terms of holding the ball up against the wind. And if there are high balls that are difficult to judge in the wind, she might be just a person to win those high balls. Of course, she's very good in the air. Certainly not at that point yet, but I rather suspect she could be a useful player. As Omar O'Heed is playing, I think Aberystwyth have got a change lined up by the looks of it. Oh, I enjoyed that half time. I didn't get to tell you how this has been a very expensive day. Maybe I'll just get across that quickly now. Yeah, it's cost me a bit. Oh, it's not a sub, it's Libby Isaac still talking to the manager on the side of the pitch. I parked in the car park, paid my £4 on a machine which really was erratic, kept making beeping noises and nothing happening, and you keep pressing the buttons and thinking, I hope I'm not paying more. I would pay more, don't worry, in the end. Eventually got the ticket, put it on the dashboard of my car, and it slipped down behind the windscreen, behind the opaque bit at the bottom, and you couldn't see it. So I tried to get it out. I even got a piece of cardboard and tried to lever it out, and I just couldn't. So I had to go and pay another £4. The machine was acting up even worse, even though I did change the language to Welsh in the hope that it would think I was a local and be nice to me. At one point it just made a continuous beep and wouldn't stop, but I was like, oh man, what's going on here? So I did it. I paid another £4, put it in. I then bumped into Mary Gibbard, who said, I don't think you have to pay here. There's irony. As we get underway again, I'll go through for Craven. And yeah, so I squandered £8 there. Then I walked in and I splurged on the charity stall I mentioned for Pink Day by the entrance. So yeah, I was £14 down the moment I got into the ground. Wrexham getting the free kicks. Snape tripped. I'll be interested to see whether the Aberystwyth manager, it's his first season in women's football, James, his last name James, whether he is going to step in and do something about their shape. to try and cover Snape is Smith. Nice ball. Barker dropping off deep. Scarfield with it. Barker, that's nicely done, isn't it? Clark, good sure-footed passing by Wrexham. Mahmood skillful again. Maybe needed to release it to Jones, but he's held on to it well. I mean, the problem essentially was that Hughes was Aberystwyth's best attacking player on the right and wasn't really tracking Snape. Obviously they meant to do that. That's a good idea, just under hit. Good cover by Evans, throw in. Are they going to tell us to be more defensive? But then when you're 2 goals down, do you want to do that? Clark can't stop Egan, keeps fighting. Mahmood. Egan really persistent. Snape now. Good ball to Hughes. He's isolated. And she's running at Isaac. That's intelligence. Suckley now. She can work it wide, and she does. Danger here. Hughes. Oh, good save by Steele. First touch just wasn't quite right for Rosie Hughes, was it? But in front of the Ultras, Wrexham nearly get a third, which regardless of the conditions surely would be the end of it. Good save that by Steele, to be fair, but if the first touch had been better, who knows. Anyway, now here's Barker. Good turn, great play. Good ball then, Hughes. Oh, it's there! And it's launched into the roof of the net, and Wrexham get that third goal right in front of the Ultras. The ball smashed into the roof of the net, and Wrexham take a 3-goal lead. And my concerns now about the conditions feel a little less serious, in all honesty. But yeah, Barker did so well in the first place. Hughes prodding that ball back, and the skipper, Jody Bartle, launching it into the roof of the net. I mean, to be fair to Steele, he made a good save to concede the corner from Rosie Hughes. She nearly saved that as well, didn't she? But Wrexham have got a 3-goal lead now. Free kick conceded by Lovett. Well, good stuff from Wrexham, this, isn't it? Conditions can make games a real lottery, but Wrexham have taken a true grip on it. This is Chambers on the free kick. It's going to be an interesting drive back in these conditions. Beautiful drive down, you know, there's lots of different routes that are reasonable to take. As that's into a nasty area. Wrexham win it back. Snape will get rid. Now then, it could be a break on here. Barker's herring through the middle. Hughes intelligently looks for it early, but can't get it right. In fact, she ended up chasing her own pass. Steeled as well to get her foot through that. God, look at the awkwardness of the wind. It's so hard to judge that ball when it goes long. Smith now. And it's really strong, that wind. Look at Suckley fighting to keep it balanced. And then Buffton struggling to read it. That's a great ball by Clark. Now then, Rosie Hughes. No flag. Good strike by Snape. Oh, ref's got to stop play there. Snape really got hold of that. It was a brave block. And the ref had to stop it as Sean Evans took it to the head. So a stoppage in play as Jones is treated. Just looking across the division then. TNS are winning 3-0 at Barry. Cardiff are winning 3-1 at Pontypridd. And Swansea are beating Britain Ferry, wait for it, 5-1. Britain Ferry have had a player sent off, Brooke Llewellyn, sent off at the end of the first half. They were already 3 down by that point. She got a second yellow. And Swansea are, having scored 10 at home last week, really going to town. 2 goals for Chivers and a hat-trick for Amy Deacon. Evans is up. It's good to see. Wrexham Ultras giving her a good round of applause behind the goal. Yeah, it's a beautiful drive across Wales, whichever route you take to come to Aberystwyth. And I took maybe the prettiest one, and some amazing valleys of quite sheer cleft faces going through Bala as well, the biggest lake in Wales, getting a nice look at that. I was planning to do a couple of little videos on the way, and I thought, oh, I'll left it a bit too late, I better make sure I get to Aberystwyth in plenty of time. But I tell you what, going back, I don't think I'll get to see much of the scenery. I'll give you a lot of mist, and I could get quite windy too. Should be fun. So we'll restart. Once again, that daft rule. Evans has to go to pitch. That's brilliant from Jenkins. No flag, rightly buffed on that. Has got 3 players attacking the box. Good hands by Craven. Nothing is simple when the ball's in the air for a goalie in the wind like this. Good hands by her. Evans still not allowed back on the pitch. You know, daft, isn't it? Suckley now. Good touch on. Hughes on the chase. Matthias is there to clear. Clever touch inside by Scarfield. Chambers switches. Evans is back on now. As Snape stands a great diagonal. Then Barker on a chase, and the ball just skips off that turf. Steele quickly off her line. She had a good game in goal, hasn't she, Steele? Couldn't do anything about the goals she's let in, and she's made a couple of important saves. Love it clear. Barker. Bounce doesn't help her. Ball hooked away. Ref gives handball against Smith. A little unlucky there, I think. Yeah. Some Ruby Slippers earlier saying about Isaac being a familiar name, and she is very good, isn't she? A couple of other familiar names have left Aberystwyth though. One player who always looked impressive against us and was very young, Flaky Matthias. Remember the first time we did the game from here? Oh, that's a good idea, but overhit massively. Scourfield thinking, with the wind as it is, anything's going to be tricky for Lizzie Craven. But yeah, put too much on that. Yeah, Flaky Matthias. I remember contacting my wife, whose first language is Welsh. Oh, if only her first language was Welsh, we'd be laughing at our gold-plated castle. Yeah, to ask her, am I saying that right? Shaky, and I was. That's a strong challenge. That's very harsh on Scarfield to get a free kick there. Wrexham a little bit lucky. And yeah, she was a good quick striker who scored against us last season. But they've lost her. Lost a couple of players from the back as well. But they've started the season well, although as I said earlier on, they're a very erratic team. Scarfield's catching Barker out, great work. Bartle read that really well. Now Clark. Barker's made a heck of a run, and that's pins Evans, the left back, in place, giving space for Suckley, and that's a testing ball, that is. Oh, the wind just held it up. Mahmood wasn't the target. It was Lily Jones that Suckley was aiming for, but as the winds held that ball up, it was Mahmood coming back from an offside position who ends up challenging for it. So as things stand, all the games are pretty one-sided today, and the teams that you would think would be the top 4 are the sides on the right side of those results. TNS, Swansea, Wrexham, Cardiff. I'm not convinced by Swansea and TNS, mind. Not totally. TNS, if they do finish this job, will be the first points to get away from home this season. Good pressure on Smith. Bufton wins the throw. Fiona Evans. Conditions. Ball too wet to even hold on to. Matthias launching it back in. That's an awkward one. And Jenkins just couldn't judge it in the wind. Scarfield. You see, the game's a bit different in the second half. The wind is pushing us back a bit. Aberystwyth, unlike us, using more of a long ball approach. Almost just hoping that percentages suggest it was Suckley who was caught late there. Play continues. He's Buffton. This opener percentages mean that the passes will, a percentage of them will drop to teammates rather than Wrexham trying to be more measured passing their way through. Suckley there, bit of an impetuous challenge. She was annoyed that she felt she'd been fouled, I think, and got a little bit of revenge. So Wrexham have to watch the set piece. As we saw from Scarfield's free kick earlier, of course, the danger of taking that approach is that if you're overhitting it, you're just going to give a lot of goal kicks away. But it can work. Indication of Wrexham's quality that we've tried to use the wind by just using it to push Aberystwyth back, and then we've tried to actually pass it around through it, whereas Aberystwyth are more direct. But here's a free kick into a horrible area again, and the wind takes it behind, really. I think if the wind hadn't curved away quite as much, it might have dropped more kindly for the players attacking it at the far post. As it is, Wrexham are happy with that. It's Craven out to Snape. Aberystwyth had a good 10 minutes here, haven't they? Just stopping us from getting the ball out from our defensive third. It's good work then by Hughes. Lovers with the throw. That's an intelligent little header inside. Scarfield, good ball. Jenkins touch just let it down. Lovely work by Bartle, just saw the opportunity. And now Wrexham looking to keep it down with Suckley, but is moving down the flank and she looks for Mahmood. That's a great ball. Matthias isolated, Mahmood running at her. Suckley's outside, Mahmood goes it alone. Good defending again by Isaac. Suckley is really alert to get to it first. And unlucky. I think that's a shot, is it? Oh, it's been kept in, incredibly. Steele gets away with that, to be fair. She has to really fight. Did well to get hands to it in the end, but again, tremendous chasing of a lost cause. It was Snape, was it that time? I must admit, I'd given that up. I thought it had gone out. So, Wrexham threatening again. Here now is Suckley. Good ball. Mahmood just overhit and Matthias on the covered as well. This is a test of character just to get through, and these sort of weird games, even a 3-0 lead isn't always enough. Actually need to keep focus, keep fighting. That's nice. Jones to Suckley. Goal kick. Well, yesterday at Middlesbrough was a 2 Bovril day. Today would be, if I could lay my hands on some. There's a tempting food stall across the other side of the pitch, but obviously I'm otherwise detained. Smith did well there, didn't she? Now then, Lily Jones, good work. Barker now running onto it. Nice pass. Hughes, good first touch. Tremendous pace by Isaac. Okay, Hughes keeps going. Oh, she's unlucky there. It was a good idea. Back heel against Mahmood and it caught a trailing leg. That duel again, Hughes against Isaac, is a highlight for me when we play Aberystwyth, and it's been a really good even battle between them today. Rosie Hughes of course got that terrifically early goal and has looked really sharp in this her first start of the season. Now then, Suckley forces the error from Evans and Hughes is quick to turn. Barker was coming short for her though, but she applauds Hughes' idea. Now then, Clark, back where it came from. Hughes will chase this. Matthias has to be careful. Team was working the ball back out, but Snape just won't let the half turn come in. That's great work by Egan. And it's a good ball as well, but again, so hard for Hughes to read and control. Philip Roberts says it needs to provide me with a bigger mic cover, wind cover for the mic on days like this. I think it's just impossible to do anything with these sort of conditions, if I'm honest with you. They Jones under pressure, keeps it cool, does well. Mahmood, again, so neat. Cute idea. Matthias intercepts, poor clearance, and then Suckley. Barker's going, and Suckley sees it. That's a great ball. Barker, good tackle by Isaac. Had to be saved. Steele was worried it might be viewed as a back pass, and she didn't want to do an Oxford, so she uses her feet and did well because she's obviously very right-footed and had to stretch her right foot across to deal with it. But again, any centre back where Isaac is not going to get there ahead of Barker. Hughes, Mahmood, good tackle. That'll be a goal kick. Yeah, there's not much you can do in these conditions, to be honest with you. I'm terribly sorry. I'll tell you one thing I have found, though. I said about it being a too bovril day at Middlesbrough yesterday. Well, a consequence of that, the cups are very thin. I had to get some tissues to hold on to it. And I've just remembered they're still in my coat pocket from holding on to the hot cup. And it's handy because I've to lift the curtain. My nose has been dripping in the cold, and I've been trying to hide the fact. I just went, no, tissues, that's alright. So I got branded Riverside Stadium tissues, which helped me to keep the broadcast going. Lily Jones, great right-footed ball, 3 attacking the box, marked by 2. Suckley into a good area. Barker. Oh, there's the finish. The Ultras go up, and Wrexham get the 4th, and that was a great goal, beautifully conceived. Great ball to send Suckley away. Lovely cross. Barker deserves a goal, doesn't she? She really has played well today. And she drilled that home emphatically inside the far post. Lovely strike, and Wrexham continue to dominate. Continue to look like an absolute class act. Brilliant stuff, this. And I'm celebrating by rubbing my nose on the Riverside Stadium tissue. Wonderful. Oh, sorry. So yeah, Wrexham 4 goals to the good. You've still got a good chunk of this game left. Oh, what's happened there? Wrexham all the way, saying Barker's the player of the match so far. He's done ever so well, hasn't she? Mad Al has put up a picture of, oh, it's a beautiful gif of, that's dangerous, that's a real chance for Buffton. Good save again by Craven, and then Buffton goes right through Bartle, concedes the free kick. Ref could have played advantage, of course, but that again, fair play to Craven, made the save from Buffton. Real chance, 6 yards out as it bounced through. Yeah, Mad Al says, about time you see Rockin' Robin, often talked about on Ask Wrexham. That's a beauty. As oh, Mahmood, that's lovely footwork, and that's a great ball too. Hughes on the back of the fence. Snape marks at the far post. Hughes, good work by Steele, and it's launched clear by Scourfield, who's had to do all her work defensively, really, hasn't she? It shows how one-sided this game has been. Suckley now. Lily Jones, wow, the wind even stronger than has been previously. Snape now. That's a nice idea, looking for Clark, but it's well covered by Isaac. Oh, it's a raw one, this. Lily Jones looking to get the ball forwards. Suckley with the challenge, that'll be a free kick. She just landed on Buffton's head afterwards as well. The ref has checked and says he doesn't need treatment. Yeah, Mad Al's gif of Rockin' the Robin. Is that AI? Yeah, it is, because he's blinking. Brilliant. But that is a nice replication of that famous Rockin' Robin moment when it was a horribly boring game and suddenly Rockin' Robin appears riding a bike down the side of the pitch at the racecourse. It was hilarious. The Aberystwyth just made a change there on the sly. Was it Scourf? No. Let me just have a little look. Ball played in. And it's miscontrolled. Barker now, but the free kick's given. I think they just brushed her hand. kick in the middle of the pitch. Wrexham hold the line on the edge of the box so the ball won't stay still for it. And that's a shot, and that's horrible! Oh, just over. Oh, that was a great idea by Matthias. Like I said, with the winds, you never know. Great strike by Matthias. Like I say, viva freak football. Good pressure. Ball's cleared. Good press up Aberystwyth. There was, I don't know if it was a coach or who it was, somebody was really howling to try and get some energy into that press then, trying to get Aberystwyth going. Looking on the excellent Cymru football app, it hasn't registered the substitutions. I'll see if I can see an unfamiliar face on the pitch as the ball falls for Clark. Can Wrexham build once more? Barker, unlucky. That was really well read, that at the back, wasn't it? The challenge came snapping in from Evans. Oh, cute touch that. Now, again, that looks like a foul. Free kick, yep. Barker battling away after Snape had turned it around the corner and there was a break on. It was a foul worth committing. That's a good ball. Mahmoud, again, good first touch. Hughes found a little bit of space, but good defending by Matthias, just stopping Mahmoud from seeing her. That's Scourfield this long. The better. Good ball by Mahmoud, that. Good cover by Isaac. She has to be alert as Barker's after it. And she does pull a free kick. I think maybe it's a sub who's ready to come on over there. So, still 4-0 up. Wrexham looking good. And like I said, I've coped so well with this wind in the second half. You know, it's been impressive how clearly Aberystwyth had more chances to put pressure on us, and we have dealt with it well. Ball driven into the midriff of Scourfield. Say hello to my little friend. Suckley. Now then. Mahmoud and Hughes both made similar runs. Suckley, that's intelligence, unlucky. Just got a bit too much of the outside of her foot on that. Buffed under pressure. Good decision making by Lily Jones. Scourfield. Love it. Here is Lily Jones again. Mahmoud's making the pitch wide. Jones can't pick her out, but she gets it in the end. Suckley. That's clever. Lily Jones now. This is a lovely move, isn't it? Beautiful weight, is it on that? No, just too much. Unlucky, unlucky. Aberystwyth have got 3 subs ready to come on. And there's some activity on the Wrexham bench as well. Sammy Inden. And Rosie Hughes is coming off for Inden. Eve Adams, I think, is stripped off there as well. And Snape is coming off. Looks like, anyway. You'd assume so, wouldn't you, with Adams? Yep. Brilliant performance by Snape, and Rosie Hughes, of course, really brilliant. Today, oh, goodness me, I forgot to mention, Rosie Hughes sets the club record, most appearances for the club, as well as already by some distance being our top all-time scorer. And she comes off having done so brilliantly again today. Buffton comes off for Aberystwyth. Kersey coming on. Sioned Kersey. They're also bringing off Sean Evans, who took that knock to the head. Here are replacements. Is Paige Harvey, 16-year-old. She's gone to left back. She's very tall, strongly built. She's available now. This is put under pressure immediately by Suckley, who wins it back. Mahmood has got Barker and marks, and she just couldn't quite release it in time. Suckley scrapping again with the substitute. There's a little nibble at Suckley's ankle, but Suckley's past her. That's a good ball. Barker, what a good header. Unlucky. Did so well to control that as it came flying at her at pace. It was unlucky that she couldn't quite direct it inside the far post. So 4-0 up Wrexham into the last quarter of the match. A memorable match for all the wet reasons. Egan can't reach that. Clark, good work, great work. Suckley feeding it in to Indon, her first touch. Quickly out to Adams, the sub. That's got good shape on it. The wind takes it clear. Great to have Adams getting a bit of experience here. We've got Millie Hillier, and Faye Knox on the bench, of course, and Leah Berg, players who, well, have got a couple of subs appearances between us. Sophie Nash on the bench as the sub-keeper as well, by the way. Not that I expect to see her. Bartle coming across. Craven. Good contact again into the wind, gets good distance. Nice touch by Suckley. Iddenden. Suckley once more. Mahmood going over the top. Suckley sees her, looks for her, and the wind against her. Could have worked. Steele, though, like I said, has done very well for Aberystwyth and judged that well too. Smith. It's been a lovely day for it. Suckley can't get to that. Throw-in goes Aberystwyth's way. Like I said, wearing pink today. It's Pink Day. They changed the name of Park Avenue to Pink Avenue for the day, which I rather liked. Supporting cancer research, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Sue Ryder. So really admirable causes that they are supporting here. That's a nice kit too. Suckley scrapping away, does well against Egan, and now here she comes. It's getting really gloomy here. The floodlight's not on. Suckley's, oh, what a warrior, battles her way through. Good advantage by the ref because Suckley was being fouled. Clark finds Adams, good strength by the youngster. Mahmood can't quite get there. Can Aberystwyth break? No, is the short answer to that. Love it. Yeah, it's getting very dark. Craven under pressure, and no real option but to do that. Hey, the lights come on. That's better. The Wrexham Ultras are singing they put £1 in the meter. Brilliant. They've saved as much money as they possibly can. I think they'll have to be thinking about stopping the game and asking them to stick the lights on if you hadn't done it soon. So Wrexham are going to make another couple of changes now. And off comes Mariam Mahmood, who has been terrific, hasn't she? You know, her touch and skill in these conditions. It's a really real contrast to these conditions. She's been an artist, hasn't she, on the ball? Love it. Comes off. Phoebe Davis comes on. The other Wrexham sub sees Faye Knox coming on. His second appearance for us, of course. That's a good ball then. Jenkins can't quite get that. Smith clears. Indon now. Oh, the ball, rather dead bounce. Gave her no great chance there. Long ball to the edge of the D. Clever little help on by Jenkins. It's awkward this for Smith and Craven. But ultimately the bounce of the ball doesn't help Aberystwyth, and Smith just gets a toe in to force it a little bit wider. And then a good challenge on Scarfield, and Craven again, quick off a line, alert, sees the danger, snuffs her out. Aberystwyth are going to make another change. It's all gone away stop-start, hasn't it, the last few matches? But this is Hillier. Right, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the app. No, it isn't. Beg your pardon. Ignore me. Ignore the last couple of moments. Is it Egan coming off for Aberystwyth? Coming on for them. Alav Davis. Oh, a back pass. Not troubling Craven Wrexham. Let's look to close this out now. A brilliant performance. It's been really impressive in these conditions. We've played some really good football, really constructive players. Adam looking really confident. Well done, refs. Tried to play the advantage, but she was clipped. And she's strong, isn't she? We've seen a couple of times now. She's willing to drive on, use her body strength, and we've got real depth in that position if we play left back or left wing back, because we've also got Leah Burke. Apart from the fact that they've got Snape in there too. Burke is a real prospect, as I'm sure if you're regulars to these broadcasts you'll know. I rate her very highly. It's a nice flick on by Scarfield. Important touch by Suckley though. And Knox battling away. Does well. Does really well. Does very well to find Indon. Referee played advantage. Decides that it hadn't been enough of an advantage. But again, Knox there showing real confidence on the ball. It's an interesting signing, isn't she, from Bolton? Ball laid back to Clark. Smith. That's nice. Just gave the eyes and took the ball away. Suckley prods it down the line, can't find a teammate. Scarfield now rolling it down the side. What's the defence? Bartle is going to let it roll. Oh, I'm not sure that's going to go out, is it? It is bounding along eventually, and Bartle ends up having to sprint. Didn't have to worry in the end, but yeah. Just for a second, I looked like it was going to hold up, didn't it? Ref tells Bartle to hurry up. I think she wanted to leave it. Suckley's been taking throws on this side, hasn't she? But the ref said he's obviously thinking about a yellow card for time wasting, so Bartle thinks I'll take it after all. Throw in the end. Bartle just shakes her hands to get some of the moisture off. Suckley clear. And then Suckley blocks. Scarfield under pressure from Knox. Feel a Limerick coming on. Lifted in and helped on by Jenkins, but Phoebe Davis is there. No nonsense from her. Ultras throwing in a chorus of Jenny Sugarman's Red and White Army. Just Jim saying about the floodlights. Lights out for ABBA. Literally. Yes. Now, Chip Pate says, now that we're well into the new season and the new signings have all been impressive, who's been your most surprising addition so far? Ooh, define surprising. That's a great question. I suppose just touched on. Good defending again by Bartle. I mean, if we're looking at surprising, Suckley lucky. You see what she was thinking of, but Barker wasn't quite as out of the pitch as he thought. I mean, in a way, Adams. Adams was sort of trailed as a youth signing, and I know she hasn't started a game yet, but she looks ready to play at this level. She's robust and tidy. Here she is now. She's got a lovely goal on her debut, but we're not going to judge her on that because it's her all-round play we want to look at. And she looks strong on that left-hand side, very left-footed. She's having to get back to defend now, and she's sticking to Morley Hughes well. Very well. It's a good ball in by Hughes, and that's well covered. Nat Clark's got such good defensive sensibilities in those sorts of positions, isn't she? Ball hacked clear. And it'll go back from Isaac all the way to Steele. Linden will keep chasing. Yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking Bartle and Barker and Mahmood have come in with the reputation for being good signings, and I've lived up to that. That's nice by Phoebe Davis, isn't it? And Josie Smith as well. And what I saw of them in pre-season sort of backed that up too. But Adams is an interesting one, isn't she? Like I say, trailed as a youth signing, but she looks like she's something more than that. And Davis tracked her well. It's a cute little touch. It's a corner. It was intelligent play, that, just backheeling it onto Davis. So yeah, I think I'd go for her. I mean, we forget actually, we brought in alongside Adams another youth player, Evie Holt, who's been injured since she arrived. So I'm curious what she might be like. I've seen the other new player that we brought in the same time as Knox. I've actually seen her play Wales under 19s game, which looked quite tidy. Ball stood up beyond everybody. The game I saw her, she was playing at left back, and I'd argue we've got an awful lot of left backs at the moment, and they're decent. So I'm interested to see how he looks to use her. That's dangerous. Here's a chance. Oh, well played, Clark. Huge foot in. Danger still there. Jenkins, Davis with a block. Jenkins again. Scourfield with the shots, and it's another good block. And there you go. Wrexham have won the game, but wants that clean sheet. And Clark, then Smith, throw their bodies in the line. They will not let those shots trouble Craven. They're fighting for the clean sheet. We haven't had a clean sheet this season. To keep one in these conditions would be a proper achievement. So, another set piece to deal with. Lots of bodies beyond the far post. Floated in nastily. And that's covered. Can Wrexham break? Tidily done by Knox. Lily Jones has got players pouring over the halfway line. She looks early for Edendon. Edendon held up well, but that's a lovely pass. Barker, can she finish? Left foot. Yes, she can! Brilliant breakaway, 5 for Wrexham. And that is a lovely way to put the cherry on top, isn't it? But Barker there, after the great long ball by Lily Jones and terrific set-up play by Edendon. And belatedly, Barker can have a little dart at a hat-trick. Not long left. But you never know. Last hat-trick Wrexham scored, of course, against Aberystwyth. There's Ava Suckley when we beat them 7-1 at the Rock last season. But yeah, this has been a proper performance by Wrexham on a day when the Big Four have been putting on a show. Davis being put under pressure. It's kept him well. Tackle Adams getting back well again. Did well. Nice pass. Now then, here's Barker. Wrexham breaking once more. Knox, who started that goal off. Now the ricochet could help Suckley. Barker wants a return ball. Suckley turns inside, just a little bit too much on that, and it was tidied up well. The subs done well since they come on. I'll have Davis up front has looked quite threatening, but when Phoebe Davis and Adams dealt with her, that started off that last little breakaway. Here's Suckley, that's a free kick. Ooh, oh, ref. He's done well, the ref. But don't think you're allowed to do that in wrestling, are you? Craven with a howling gale right in her face, but she has options. Davis over the top, and that's worth chasing for Knox. The backspin just defeated her in the end. It's all starting to open up here now. Aberystwyth pouring forwards. Ultimately, it's Isaac, like I say, the centre-back chasing that. Can't get there. I think I may have to referee here, because Philip Roberts said that Wrexham needs to provide me with a bigger wind cover for the mic. So, beg your pardon. So, Tom Streeter said, in the business, big fuzzy windscreens are called dead cats. The weather today requires a dead Wookiee, which Wrexham Wookiee has replied to, saying, "Oi!" And I feel I do need to intervene here and say, guys, stay calm. A Wookiee's for life, not just for Christmas. Come on. Here's Craven. We're all friends. Suckley, she's had a good second half, hasn't she? You know, she's such a gifted player, but she will fight. Here's Knox. She's looked lively, hasn't she, since she's come on? Only hidden and available, but she finds her a nice little pass and then couldn't quite bring it in. Aberystwyth going to make another change, and this time, no, he had to put the number up again. I don't think anyone really saw it. And the ref's is he pointing at Scarfield to say it's you? But I think it's actually Hughes, or to give her a full name, Lily Morley Hughes, hyphenated. And so, with a minute or so left, Morley's redundant, and she's been replaced. Aberystwyth bringing on another of their young prospects. Smith tidying up well. Branwen Orchard has come on. She's also a 16-year-old, so they've thrown a few youngsters in. 5-0 up. Here's Bartle, who's grabbed one of them. That's a nice idea, but doesn't pick out Barker. And now Wrexham needs to keep their shape. There's a bit of movement around the outside, but the pass isn't right. So the score lines today. Obviously, we're 5-0 up. TNS are beating Barry Town 4-2. Cardiff are winning 7-1 now at Pontypridd, and Swansea are leading Britain Ferry 6-1. So, not a day for cliffhangers. Referee gives a foul throw. He says that there was a foot off the ground there from Smith. Both feet have to be on the ground when you take a throw in. Please, on Ask Wrexham, don't ask me why. Jenkins can't lever it on into the danger area, but it's allowed Davids again. Persisting, but again, Knox. She looks sharp when she's come on, hasn't she? And the referee is... Wrexham are going to make another change. So our final change. And it's going to be Nat Clark given a break. She has been again so solid and strong in front of the defence. The minute of play left, Karen Allen is going to come on in her place. Will that be a switch of shape as the centre back comes on? Couple of minutes added time as the ball is swept in and firm header by Allen. Ref stops play. Head injury. The rain slashing across the pitch again. There'll be no need for a physio for this. But yeah, Wrexham have been impressive, haven't they? On a day when the goals have been racked up by everybody. Spectacular. Now, here they come forwards. Steele picks her up. Now then, there's options here on the flank. But the flank goes up. It was a bit careless, that. Yeah. Allen has just dropped into the right side, his centre-back position. Smith is now anchoring the midfield, as Clark did. Craven tidily back out. Wrexham looking to move it around. That pass asked a bit too much of Lily Jones. It's won back well though. Now then, here's Barker, turning nicely. Important foot in that though. Knocked back over the top, and Davis will have to be alert here, being put under pressure. She's able to allow it to go out for the goal kick. The Wrexham Ultras making lots of noise, and there is the final whistle, and those Wrexham Ultras will be delighted with that. Wrexham have won 5-0 here, our biggest win at Park Avenue, and really put on a show, in all honesty. That was tremendous from Wrexham. Katie Barker with a hat-trick, a brilliant hat-trick, and in horrific conditions. I mean, absolutely horrible conditions. This has been a terrific performance by the team. In the first half, with the wind in our favour, we dominated, but we kept it on the floor. There was no temptation to go short. There was no temptation to try and launch it and use the wind. It certainly pushed Aberystwyth back, but we passed the ball intelligently, pulled them around. It helped that we scored very early on. Rosie Hughes striking in her first start of the season, and as a consequence we were on top. We really made a lot of chances, although while it was 1-0, it must be said, Lizzie Craven made a brilliant save from Morley Hughes, one-on-one, standing up and parrying at her near post. It was a fine stop by her. But Wrexham, apart from that moment, really were dominant. And it was a surprise, really, that we had to wait until about 10 minutes before the end of the first half before we got a second goal, with chances all over the place, before finally Barker opened her account. She certainly wasn't finished yet. Wrexham then, as they now go across to acknowledge their superb support, the Ultras behind the goal have really loved this. Continues to put the pressure on, continue to dominate, and as the second half started, although Aberystwyth were able to get a bit more into the game, the fact of the matter is that we still were the side who were making most of the opportunities. Craven had to make another sharp close range save, but it was Steele who was more busy. Wrexham grabbed another from a corner after Steele made a really good save from Rosie Hughes, but she couldn't do anything when the ball came in, and Bartle was able to smash the ball home from close range. Steele got her hands to it, but had no chance. The ball ricocheting into the roof of the net. And then it was the Barker show as she finished things up with a quick-fire double to add to her first half goal and complete a brilliant hat-trick. As you can understand, the players haven't quite held on as long as normal with the Ultras, because it's time to get back in and get warm. Wow, it's horrible here. It really is. The wind has got up. The moment the game ended, it seemed to get worse, and I didn't think that was possible, but it has got worse, most definitely. The poor subs are still going to have to do their warm down. Oh man, they're lining up on the edge of the box. That's a short straw to draw, isn't it? Goodness me, off they go. But yeah, I'd have thought just getting warm would be what you want, wouldn't it? But yeah, Wrexham were dominant from start to finish. A really massively comprehensive win, and with all the other games being one-sided, Cardiff, Swansea and TNS all scoring goals and dominating, Wrexham certainly joined that club. I mean, it's Cardiff we're looking at, really, isn't it? And they put, as we'd expect, a lot of goals against Pontypridd. but we needed to win to make sure they didn't gain any advantage on us, and it was pretty foregone conclusion from the beginning. Barker magnificent, obviously, but from the very start she was just dropping deep in between the lines, getting the ball in space, running at players, creating problems all the time, and her pace as well, running in when she was played in. But Wrexham's sure-footedness on the ball and control when it was so windy, when the ball was often moving faster than it should, because the wind was just taking it even when it was on the floor and sending it over the line and off the pitch, was really impressive. We built from the back, we passed through the thirds despite the difficulty in keeping your balance in these conditions, and we did ever so well, like I said, to play constructive football. Mahmoud's touch on occasion was crazy considering the weather, you know. Real artistry at times. Her first touch, her soft feet, was just fantastic to watch, and in tight areas her control was good as well. Rosie Hughes, really aggressive and direct, running the channels, occupying the centre backs, allowing Barker to drop off deep and cause issues. Snape was very impressive on the left. We switched around to a sort of lopsided three at the back, if you will. Snape was pushing on a long way, causing all sorts of problems, and in the first half Aberystwyth just didn't seem to anticipate it. It looked like they'd looked at our last couple of games with a four at the back and just didn't adjust to the fact that Snape was all on her own down the left and was causing havoc, getting great balls in, a real goal threat as well. On the other side, Suckley was sort of the right-sided wing-back, but wasn't dropping off so much, and Smith was coming across a bit. And yeah, Suckley put in a proper shift, really causing issues, especially I thought in the second half against the wind. She was dropping a bit deeper, fighting to win the ball and driving it forwards. Lily Jones and Nat Clark did a really good job, just keeping that ball shifting, getting that direct passing through to feet. And then the back three were very strong. Bartle again, some really nice moments of control, some really nice moments where she read danger and stuffed it out very sharply. It was very, very good all around, and Wrexham deservedly come away with an excellent win. We stay level top. Cardiff have managed to put more goal difference into the game than us, so they've actually opened up one goal more. Unless they've scored late on, they'd won 7-1, but hey, who cares? The fact of the matter is we're keeping pace with them, and we're keeping pace with them comfortably. It's really been good to see. But these were the sort of conditions and the sort of opposition, because Aberystwyth an unpredictable side that could have been awfully difficult, and instead we've come here, imposed ourselves, taken control, and yeah, no question, impressive and hugely deserved. It's been quite a day, like I said. The wind has been crazy, the rain has been terrific. Those two factors so bad you hardly notice the cold, you know. And the drive back's going to be a bit of fun, but goodness me, I'm telling you, Wrexham made light of that, and well, poor Aberystwyth, who got such a good win last Saturday, ending a run of 3 losses, found themselves outgunned. It was fun to see Libby Isaac and Rosie Hughes continue their rivalry. Always a tremendous duel between the two of them. Their pace is great, and it was a good level battle between the two of them. Hughes, I think, in the end just about snatched it, but she took her goal well. That early goal, which really rocked Aberystwyth back, but I don't think that made that much difference, in the sense that I think our domination was pretty complete, and there was not much else you could really ask from the team other than that. So we go on again. We've got TNS to come, of course, and that rounds off the first half of phase 1. Beg your pardon, not TNS. No, it is. We've rounded off phase 1 now, haven't we? Now we're at home to TNS. That'll be an interesting one. They found some form today, but always a fun derby. Wrexham, though, we've got halfway through the first phase, and we've done ever so well to keep tight with Cardiff and be competitive with them. and an opportunity as well just to try and get some distance between us and teams below us who to me don't look as good. To me, the loss at TNS was a bit of an aberration, as you'll be delighted to hear that the subs finally are going. They're going in. They've done their warm down, after which they're much colder, no doubt, and they're able to go along and get into the warm finally, go in search of a Bovril. Wrexham have really earned this, and those guys have earned their little warm-up, to be perfectly frank. Yeah, I'll tell you another thing which is very, very good for Wrexham. Lizzie Craven keeping the clean sheet, and the story of her season is fascinating, isn't it, where there were a couple of mistakes early on, and maybe more than that, a couple of goals conceded which just didn't look great, whether they were the finger would point towards her or someone else more, but she's kept her head up because she showed last year she's a quality goalkeeper, and so as a result she has kept doing the right things. She got praise on Ask Wrexham today for the fact that she keeps playing the ball with her feet, and her distribution was superb. These are horrible conditions for a goalkeeper, doubly horrible for a goalkeeper looking to use their feet, and she did superbly the way she pinged that ball around and was confidently picking out Snape constantly, because Snape was the spare player, and she did ever so well just to be picking Snape out and starting so many attacks, getting balls on the diagonal out to her so swiftly. Not only that, she made 2 excellent saves, one in each half, and the first one in particular, driven towards the top right corner, was a superb stop and came when it was only 1-0, and an equaliser then might just have put the wind up Wrexham, quite frankly. So huge credit to Craven, who also showed good hands, taking a cross in the second half, just driven horribly into the goal mouth. Any take for a keeper in these conditions is difficult. Great from her, and a first clean sheet of the season for us, which is really important. The defenders at the end, there was a bit of a scramble around the penalty spot, and a couple of shots came in, and first Clark and then Smith threw their bodies on the line and made brilliant blocks just to make sure that that clean sheet stays a clean sheet, because that's important, isn't it? If you can not let goals in. And I do appreciate that clean sheets are much rarer in the Adran Premier than they are in the men's game at professional level, but still, if you can keep clean sheets, you've got a really, really good opportunity to finish up very high up the table, and that was a terrific achievement. But Craven played a huge part, and I've got to say as well, although she let 5 goals in, Sophie Steele equally in the Aberystwyth goal did ever so well. Young keeper, really came in halfway through last season. She kept the score down. She made 2 or 3 top-notch saves, one of which led to the corner that we scored from anyway, Bartle getting the third. And it was, absolutely super save by her. She judged a number of situations well when the ball was knocked long into her box, and she was sensible with the ball at her feet. Sometimes she'd put the ball out and, you think, oh, she's put the ball for throwing 20 yards out. Yeah, but sometimes you have to. But the fact is, she didn't get enough protection. Aberystwyth's defence, Isaac and Matthias did pretty well as centre-backs. But Wrexham really imposed ourselves. And to be cute enough to take advantage of that was really fantastic, especially in that first half. The conditions against us, we dealt with that. We dealt with tricky opposition. And we go marching on. Great stuff by Wrexham. Let's hear what the manager Jenny Sugarman has to say about it all.